Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm gonna be testing a GeForce GTX 1080 Ti, a legendary card from 2017 in a 2017 title, Star Wars Battlefront 2. This one is a Gigabyte Gaming 3X version of the card. I am running it with the latest Nvidia drivers and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech Power-Ups, GPU Z, and over on the left, I'm pairing it with the i5-12600KF CPU and 32 gigabytes of RAM. Let's get into it. Shall we? Okay, so we're waiting for the match to start. Let's go over the settings now. I'm at 1080p resolution to start this off using the maximum settings, including the shadow quality is now maxed out. I didn't max this out in the previous videos, but now we got it here, HFTS. And you guys have told me that this is some sort of early ray traced shadows. Alright, beautiful by the way right now. Damn, so I played yesterday on a GT 1030 in this map on the medium settings and low settings, and this looks totally different. Tons of more detail on the maximum settings now. It's pretty crazy actually, and it looks beautiful as well, right? But anyway, yeah, that HFTS stuff on the shadows is dropping our FPS by quite a lot. I will disable it in just a little bit so you guys can take a look at it disabled, but it also makes the game look quite a bit better in terms of the shadow detail, of course. Let's go, pushing the bastards here. This is so good looking, by the way. Yes, it's a 2017 title on a 2017 flagship GPU, so obviously it's going to run really well. Inside of here, FPS drop like crazy because of those shadows, by the way. I mean, the last recent game that I tested on the GTX 1080 Ti this year was the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. And that game, oh boy. First of all, even if you max it out, I'm not sure it looks better than this. It's a very pretty game because it's UE5 and so on, but in some ways, it doesn't look super nice. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that's the first step. My gosh, look at this. The chaos. It's beautiful. I love it. Back to what we were talking about. That game was a mess on the GTX 1080 Ti, mainly because it has Lumen by default, and I installed the Lumen mod to disable it. It made it look even worse, and it performed a little bit better, but still, the frame time was super inconsistent. There were tons of stuttering issues in that game. And here we're playing a multiplayer shooter with 40 players in the server. And obviously it's not open world, but it's a big map, right? Compared to like Call of Duty maps and stuff. It's definitely a lot bigger. That's what she said. But in terms of the graphics, it certainly looks better than Oblivion does on low settings. And it plays amazingly, even with that setting, the shadow setting set to the maximum. We're still at 120 FPS average. It's really good. I mean, for the time, again, not that great since this was the best GPU that you could buy, aside from the Titans, which was just a GTX 1080 Ti with a little bit more VRAM. In the case of the Titan X Pascal, then there was the Titan XP that came out when this game came out with the Star Wars edition as well. I remember that so well. Oh, it would be so sick to play this game on that, actually. Oh, come on. That was so close. He was 3 HP, seriously. But yeah, this was close to the fastest GPU in the market back then. And 125 FPS at 1080p, yeah, it wasn't really that amazing. But that's just because of that very intensive shadow setting. If I go here and set it back down to Ultra, which is the Ultra preset, what we're playing right now, you can see the FPS jump up to 180s, 190s, even 200 frames per second, which is the cap of this game, by the way. It can't go over 200 FPS no matter what you do. I tried config files, console commands as well. It doesn't happen. It's just not having it, all right? 200 is the maximum, so tough luck if you have a 240Hz or a 360Hz monitor with a recent GPU, recent system, and you want to take advantage of your monitor fully. It would be possible with the specs that we have today, but because of that cap, it isn't possible. But anyway, as you can see, this is a little bit faster of an experience. I can't really tell much of a difference, honestly, because I am using 120 Hz at the moment. There's a guy there. Wait a second. All right, good stuff. There's... Ooh, yeah, that's a bad boy over there. Bad guy. Okay. Okay. Oh, what is going on? They're shooting at me. I don't like this. I don't like this. Visibility is not the greatest, though, at 1080p resolution, so we want to increase the resolution for sure, and people with the GTX 1080 Ti back in the days were playing at 4K resolution, lots of them at 1440p resolution. It was a great card for high-resolution gaming. There we go. What are you guys doing? How do I get a shield like that? I also want it. No, 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 no. Come on. Come on, dude. That's cheating. No, okay. No, actually, that's not cheating, but there are plenty of cheaters in this game. I've catched one in the GT 1030 video. It's terrible. Anyway, I'll need to change my monitor now to play at 1440p resolution. I hope it doesn't get out of the server, but it probably will. Okay, so it turns out I did need to restart the game to apply the 1440p resolution. So we're back here, 1440p res, using 100% resolution scale, ultra settings. It's probably a bad idea if we use the shadow quality set to the maximum here at this res, since at 1080p dropped things by a lot. I will still try it by the end of the benchmark run at 1440, but let's go ahead and do this. I also adjusted the fan speed of the GPU because it was getting a bit too hot. It's like 32 degrees Celsius in my room at the moment. Yay. Okay, so here we are, 1440p resolution, my friends. It's nighttime, it's beautiful still, and it's over. Alright, at least we get to see a beautiful cutscene here with some explosions. Look at that, dropping into the lower 100s. Alright. Oh, look at that, guys. Look at that, so many stormtroopers. Nice, thumbs up. Let's start counting the frames here. Finally, a map with a lot of forest area and a lot of vegetation. It does drop our FPS by quite a bit, as you can see. Frame times are a little bit inconsistent, actually. Maybe because it's the start of the round, I don't know. But yeah, let's keep on going here. 100 FPS still. Ultra settings. Not bad, again, not maxed out because the shadow quality could go higher, but I mean, the shadows already look really good. The game already looks really good right now, even though it's not maxed out. So no need to max it out if you are at 1440p with a 1080 Ti. If you are, I say that as if a lot of you are playing with 1080 Ti still. Probably aren't, right? I don't know. Let me know if you still have this GPU. This is more of a curiosity video to satiate my curiosity, because I was really interested to know how a flagship GPU from the time would play this beautiful, gorgeous game for the time as well. And apparently it's very, very similar once again to that RTX 4060. So the answer is really well. It plays amazing, as it should, for a $750 GPU or $700 GPU, whatever it cost. I think it was $750 MSRP for the 1080 Ti. Crazy times, right? You could get the top of the line GPU for 750 bucks. You could get two top-of-the-line GPUs back then for cheaper than a 5090 these days. Let's go, let's go, let's go! My gosh, my gosh. Okay, and this one wouldn't really ruin your power bills either, because it's 250 watts. It's like mid-range these days in terms of power consumption. Actually, fun thing is, back in like 2020, I tested a bunch of old GPUs like GTX 780, 780 Ti's, and those were 250 watt GPUs, and I was like, yeah, sure, it can still play games. The performance is actually pretty acceptable on those, back in 2020, of course. But they consume way too much power. And I said, I think the same thing for the GTX Titan X and the 980 Ti, 250 watt GPUs basically. But now 250 watts seems like just okay, right? It doesn't sound like a lot of power consumption. Let's stop it right there though, and let's go and try the maximum shadow setting. By the way, we can use Ultra here. Gets 160 FPS or whatever, and on Age FTS it gets down to 97, so another big drop. Oh, come on! The matches are so short in this game now. Okay, here we have it, guys. Not as intensive of a map, but you can see it already dropping into the 80s. Okay, How do I get a jetpack like those guys? Is it like a pay-to-win thingy? Because this game was actually pay-to-win sometimes. Back when it released, then they fixed it, I think. But yeah, even though a lot of people are enjoying this title right now, this was a really controversial game back when it released. My gosh, oh my, okay. I think you could actually buy the jetpacks or the special characters or something. Instead of unlocking them, you could just buy them. All right, let's go. Oh, we can go below it. Okay. So, woo, did you see that FPS drop? Yeah. Whenever you go in this environment or get out, there is a huge FPS drop caused by the shadow quality on that maximum setting. It's really weird. What is going on? Was there someone shooting at us inside of here, or was it like an explosion killing us? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let's go. Yeah, probably someone from this side was shooting at us. I can definitely feel those inconsistencies. Come on. Oh, don't. Okay. We're fine. Reload. Let's go. Yeah, 80-something FPS sometimes. It's just the sharp drop, you know. 80 FPS is not bad at all, but the sharp drop from 100 to 80 like that, just like from one frame to the other, it feels a bit off. So I wouldn't really do this. It's still playable, but let's keep the shadow quality on Ultra for 4K. Here we have it. I really like this map, guys. It just has so many Horizon Forbidden West vibes because of the robots and also because of the color palette and the islands and so on. Anyway, let's go. This is quite inconsistent there. Yeah, the frame time is not that smooth. It was definitely smoother with the RTX 4060 for some reason. Let's start counting our FPS. In terms of FPS themselves, like 60s, 70s, maybe dropping down into the 50s. This is super similar, once again, to that 4060 at 4K resolution, although I tested a different map with more vegetation, so again, this would probably drop a couple more frames than the 4060, but still, so it's in the ballpark, for sure. Come on, there we go. I'll wait a little bit. Come on, there it is. Good stuff. That was nicely played, wasn't it, guys? I took my time instead of blasting them out and shooting, spraying and praying, basically. I aimed my shot. Oh my gosh! Look at that! It dropped our FPS by a lot as well. It was nice. I liked that. Oh boy! Oh boy! Again, this is a game that, if it came out these days on PC, I would praise the heck out of it, because it looks pretty as hell. Hey, there's a turret there. And also, it plays really, really well. I'm not reviewing the game or anything. Like, there are some things that they did wrong with the gameplay itself, you know, and I would like to have seen things taken in a different route. But in terms of optimization and graphics to performance ratio, it's crazy good. This is crazy. Look at the amount of detail just in this little scene. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. I mean, I'm getting wrecked right now, but I am enjoying it. It's been a really long time since I've seen a game look this pretty and play this well on the GTX 1080 Ti. With that said, I think that's been it for this one. If you want 60 plus FPS all of the time at 4K, you can play around with resolution scaling or even use like high settings instead of the ultra settings. Those will give you like 10 more FPS and it will be stable at 60 plus in most maps at least. Let's try that out actually. High settings. Yeah, here we go, 60s, It doesn't really improve things by all that much. I can definitely tell a difference in terms of visual fidelity compared to Ultra settings here on high. Still looks great, but not as great as Ultra did, right? I think it starts looking a little bit flatter here. Yeah, there's a grenade there. Actually, I forget to throw grenades, and I died again. So you get, like, instead of 10 FPS more, around 5 FPS more. Those textures are also pretty low resolution right now compared to Ultra settings. So, It's a little bit of a compromise here, but one worth taking if you're playing with a 1080 Ti in this game at 4K. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Love you all. Bye-bye.